Have you ever felt like you were the only one who saw the world differently? Like you had a vision so radical, so completely new, that everyone around you thought you were crazy? That's the story of Akhenaten, an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who dared to defy 1,000 years of tradition for a single, powerful belief. Before Akhenaten, Egypt worshipped a complex pantheon of gods. The priests held immense power, and the religious system was deeply embedded in every aspect of life. But when Akhenaten ascended to the throne, he had a different vision. He saw one god, a single universal deity, represented by the sun disk, the Aten. He believed this god was the creator of all life, not just for Egyptians, but for everyone. This wasn't just a minor change, it was a revolution. Akhenaten declared the Aten the one and only god, shutting down the temples of the old gods and stripping the powerful priests of their influence. He even changed his own name from Amenhotep IV to Akhenaten, meaning effective for the Aten. He moved the entire capital city from Thebes to a brand new city he built in the desert. Akhenaten, the horizon of the Aten. Imagine the sheer audacity to uproot an entire civilization based on a personal conviction. Of course, this bold vision was met with fierce resistance. The priests, who lost their wealth and status, were his sworn enemies. The common people, whose beliefs had been passed down for generations, were confused and resentful. Even the military and the court nobles were unsettled by this drastic departure from tradition. Akhenaten was surrounded by criticism and opposition. He was a man standing almost entirely alone, armed with nothing but his faith. But this is where true leadership is forged. Growth always invites opposition. When you challenge the status quo pushes back. Akhenaten's story teaches us that persistence in the face of such resistance is what defines a true visionary. He didn't back down. For 17 years, he ruled from his new city, dedicating his life and his kingdom to his new faith. The art from his reign is stunningly different, intimate, naturalistic portraits of the royal family. A stark contrast to the stiff, formal art of previous pharaohs. It was a cultural revolution born from a spiritual one. After Akhenaten's death, his revolution was swiftly undone. His successors, including his famous son Tutankhamun, restored the old gods and abandoned his city. The priests worked tirelessly to erase him from history. His name was chiseled off monuments, his temples were torn down, and his city was left to crumble into the desert sands. For centuries, it was as if Akhenaten had never existed. But a powerful idea can never be truly silenced. Archaeologists in the 19th century rediscovered the ruins of Akhenaten and began to piece together his incredible story. His legacy, once buried, re-emerged to inspire awe and debate. Was he a heretic who nearly destroyed his kingdom, or a visionary genius far ahead of his time? Perhaps he was both. His story introduces the idea of monotheism to the world stage, a concept that would later shape major world religions. The lesson from Akhenaten's life is universal and timeless. Progress requires bravery. It demands an unwavering faith in your vision, even when no one else shares it. And it often requires immense sacrifice. Every great innovator, every game changer in history, has walked a similar path. They were misunderstood, criticized, and sometimes even erased. But their courage to stand alone is what ultimately pushed humanity forward. Think about the innovators in our own time. They face doubt, financial risks, and public skepticism, but they persist because they believe in what they are building. Innovation, whether in technology, art, or social change, always begins with the courage to see things not as they are, but as they could be. This is the emotional core of Akhenaten's journey. When the entire world doubts you, your belief in yourself and your purpose becomes your greatest strength. It's the inner fire that keeps you going when everyone else tells you to quit. Your purpose matters, even if the world resists it. Your unique vision has value, even if it's not immediately understood or accepted. So, if you ever feel alone in your convictions, remember the pharaoh who challenged an empire for his. Remember that history is filled with stories of those who dared to be different, and, in doing so, changed the world forever. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories from history, and I want to know your thoughts. Comment below. What belief would you stand for, even if the world disagreed? Save this video for any time you need a reminder of your own courage. Thanks for watching.